recently is a place to rest, was thoroughly constructed along with the stalk palisade. The Numerans had reinforced their camp with a deep moat. Spotting the body of some unlucky thief at the bottom, it seemed they had made a good call. Guarding the entrance was our old acquaintance Nobba, the man whose group we met in the hills previously. But his greeting was none too friendly. He did invite us to enter and let us to meet his leader. We were led to a man named Dugath, a middle-aged Khalid with a gorgeous mane, once charcoal black, now salt and paper, as well as brown skin, hardened by the sun, wind and time to the point that it almost looked like oak bark. Speaking with assertive tones, he invited us to dine with the Tiger Lords. That was the name of their tribe, and spend the night in the camp. Any business we might have with the tribe, he said, could be discussed in the morning, once everyone was rested and refreshed. He looks like an Indian, the native inhabitants of America. An Indian. Indiana. I don't know the English word. Not wanting to offend the barbarians, who'd proven to be commendable hospitable, we accepted the invitation. In minutes, we were seated by... Oh, Jesus. We were seated by the bonfire with goblets in our hands. As guests, our goblets were wrought of skillfully decorated silver, with intricate carvings depicting scenes of battle. Yes, I do, and Miro whispers into the Baron's ears. They really care about tradition here. The cupbearer filled everyone's goblet with wine. Nuga raised his cup, officially starting the feast. The Baron placed his faith in Amiri and followed her example. To my utter surprise, our barbarian friend spilled her wine on the ground, and the Baron followed her example. I thought the Numerans would be enraged, but they all followed suit. What? It was apparently a barbarian tradition, offering the first cup to the spirits. Only after the cupbearer filled their goblets again did the Numerans start to drink, and so did we. Okay. Oh, she looks evil. The main course, unsurprisingly, was meat. While hunting in the hills, the Numerans had killed a deer and 2 white boars, all now roasting over an open fire. As the tribe's guests, we were offered the best pieces. Fierce in battle, the Numerans were equally fierce at the table. They frenetically tore the meat apart with nice bare hands and teeth, as though attacking the throats of their worst enemies rather than eating roast venison. Only one camp inhabitant didn't join the dinner. Far from the festives, a slim woman wrapped in a grey cloak sat alone, her face hidden behind a piece of cloth. She was so quiet and still. At first I didn't realize she was a living being at all. The Baron... Lawful good, huh? Demanded she be invited to the table. That's probably... She's probably like some outcast that isn't allowed to dine with the tribe. But I like being good. Demand she be invited to the table. The woman just shook her head, but Dugath was furious. I would never share a meal with that witch. Her very presence would sour the wine in an instant. As he continued raving, one of the barbarians explained to us that the woman was one of the defaced sisters. Half priests, half wizard. While they may travel along with the Numerans, they never ate at the same table. Judging by the tones the barbarians used when speaking of the woman, it was easy to tell that none of them had any warm feelings towards these defaced sisters. After everyone had eaten their fill, it was time for entertainment. The barbarians began singing a rolling song in their literal language, known as Halit. Later, one of the Numerans explained that it was a ballad about a brother and a sister who defeated a huge metal spider. The song that followed was a comedic piece about the adventures of a stupid werewolf. The Numerans all sang it together. It's clear that each of them knew that one by heart. Almost everybody clapped in the rhythm, though some thumped their knives handles on their shields, and other half-orc acquaintance boldly accompanied the song on the vargan. Once the song was over, Dugath appealed to his guests, us, to surprise our hosts. The Baron decided our best choice would be... well, the tale of how we defeated the Stark Lords. A tale of a of battle and heroic deeds was just what the barbarians were looking for. They listened eagerly, chimed in on each detail, and laughed and clapped at the most epic moments. Even Dugath found himself smiling and nodding as he listened to our story. Finally, the drinking and singing came to an end. Only bones remained from the feast, and the bonfire had burned down to ash. Satisfied, the Nomerians retired to their tents.
I beg you, I haven't seen my sisters for several days. I'm afraid they may be in trouble.
Oh boy, she looks very pale. And this guy looks like a tank. Jesus.
This whole land is nothing but trouble. You want me to risk my life and the lives of my people to do your dirty work? Go ahead, ask Armagh to give the order. Oh, but Armagh stayed back in Nomeria, which means I am the one making the decisions here.
But what about my sisters? Something terrible could happen to them.
You sisters insisted on this expedition. So it's your price to pay. With your blood, not ours. Something terrible could happen, you say? It is too late for that. We already lost good men on this pointless journey to nowhere. Whatever Armagh needs, it's not here, and it wasn't here from the start. But you didn't come here for him, did you? You came for your own reasons. You want some magic toy that once belonged to the ancient Cyclops.
Oh.
Well, I'm not leading my men to their deaths for that.
Dugath.
This conversation is over. You want help? Why not ask our guests to help you? If you can afford their rates, that is. As for me, my single remaining goal is to get my people home alive, and well, and as soon as possible.
Not gonna lie, that voice actor on this guy is a little rough. He sounds like he's just reading a text off. No real, no. The woman leaves sobbing. Dugath turns to you. Good morning. Well, let's get down to business, shall we? Introducing our necessary Baron. I know who you are. Let's discuss how we can be useful to one another. Do you know me? How? Well, I'm pretty famous.
How do you think? We keep an eye on everything that happens in the region. It's smart to know our potential employers and our potential enemies.
Who is that woman?
Wish I knew who these witches are and where they came from. Our chieftain, the great Armagh, spirits bless him, trusts them as if they were holy oracles. He sent us with them to these dead hills, and none but the sisters and the chieftain himself know why. Who am I to confront the chieftain? So now we wander these lands, chasing the unknown.
Sounds stupid. I mean, how are they supposed to find something if they don't know what it is? Do you know anything about what happened in Warnold?
Warnold, huh? Isn't that the village Megar Varn got from the Ristovik Sword Lords? I know Varn. He's not the best fighter, but not the worst. As for what happened there, I wouldn't know.
So, how can we be useful to each other?
I'm afraid we can't. At least not yet. I'd be happy to take a new job, but our chieftain's orders were strict. Search the location and come back with a report. But if you could help us here, say, by finding whatever these witch sisters are looking for, or maybe just making them disappear forever.
Uh-oh.
Mark my word, Baron. The Tiger Lords never forget those who helped them.
Well, maybe they're good people, so I'm not sure I want to kill them.
Disappear, you say? That can easily be arranged.
There's a whole army of you here. How did you manage to get so far?
None of your business, actually.
Teleport.
But just to reassure you, we weren't sneaking into your lands without permission. I'll answer. It was magic. The sisters opened some strange tunnel, and we used it to get here from Numeria. Gorham witnessed my words. I'm no coward, but I'd rather march for a month through all the river kingdoms than use that damned tunnel again. It was strange, wrong, just like those witches themselves.
What are you looking for here then?
I wish I knew. The sisters are looking for something, but they won't tell anyone what it is. I guess it's some antique that used to belong to the Cyclops. Some magic trinket or something. As for me, the only thing I'm looking for is a good reason to quit this nonsense and return to Numeria as soon as possible.
Is this how you serve your liege?
Don't confuse our chieftains with your king's knight. It's the chieftain who swears an oath to the tribe, not the other way around. Liege. I was one of the tribe's elders when he was in his first teeth.
How fucking old are you? You don't look like you're like 80 or something. You look like you're in your, well, okay, maybe in your 40s. How did it go? Did you find anything interesting?
If we did, do you think we'd still be here now? The only thing to be found in these hills is one's own death. A group of my men entered a cave that turned out to be a spriggan den. They barely survived the encounter. Also, we found the ruins of some old tower, ancient as the world itself, and useless as this expedition. There is nothing to be found here, except, like I said, for one's own death.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Ask away, why not?
Oh boy.
I'm Dugath, son of Gordir and Harith Three Fingers from the Tiger Lord's tribe. My entire life, I've served Gorham, first on the battlefield, sword in my hand, and later with prayer as well. I've fought in battles all across the river kingdoms, in Yoberia, Gold, Ustalev. My price is high, my hand is steady, and my sword is deadly.
Okay, you're very full of yourself, I can tell. Tell me about Gorham.
Our lord in iron.
Interesting.
Well
Tell me about your
said, old man.
tribe.
There are many tribes in Numeria, each